Hello everyone, my name is Andrei Marius, and in this Envato Task Plus tutorial, I'll show you how to create these two splatter shapes and how to easily turn them into brushes. Let's move to Illustrator and create our new document. Make sure that you select pixels from this drop-down menu, set the width and the height to 850 pixels, and then create your new document. As usual, before you start the work on this tutorial, let's open the panels that will be used throughout this tutorial. Go to Window in the menu bar and open the Brushes panel, the Color panel, the Gradient panel, and the Pathfinder panel. To make your work even easier, let's set up a simple grid. Go to View and Show Grid to enable the grid, and then go to View and Snap to Grid to enable the Snap to Grid feature. Now that your grid is visible, let's change the settings. Go to Edit, Preferences and Guides and Grid. Enter 5 pixels in this grid line every box and make sure that the subdivisions are set to 1. Click OK, and now you should have a grid line every 5 pixels. Also, open the Info panel for this nice live preview with the size of the shapes that you are creating. Now that you're set, let's create the first splatter shape. Select the ellipse tool from your toolbar, hold down the Shift key to easily create a perfect circle, click and drag and create a 300 pixel circle. Remember to have a look inside the info panel to know exactly when your shape reaches the desired size. Make sure that your shapes remain selected and focus on this color wheels from your toolbar. Select the stroke and remove the color using this button, and then reselect the fill. Move to the gradient panel, apply this black to white radial gradient, and then reverse the order of these gradient sliders using this button. Now let's go to Effect, Texture and Grain. Move both sliders to 100, select Contrast from this drop-down menu, click OK, and then go to Object, Expand Appearance. Move to the Control panel, click this Image Trace button, and then open the Image Trace panel. Let's set the threshold to 210, and then click this Advanced button to get the rest of the settings. Enter 800%, 0% and 1 pixels. Uncheck this snap box, check this ignore white, and this will be your brush. Obviously, you can play with the settings and adjust the brush as you wish. Once you are done, click this expand button to turn your brush into vector shapes. Let's close this panel as you won't need it anymore, and then let's turn this group of vector shapes into one compound path. Go to Object, Compound Path and Make, and then move to the Color panel to change the color of your shape. Change the color mode to RGB, and then set the color to red 237, green 28, and blue 36. Now this compound path will be your first splatter shape. Let's create the other one, and then I'll show you how to turn both shapes into brushes. Let's select the zoom tool from your toolbar and zoom in on the bottom side of your artboard. Now that you can clearly see the grid, you'll be able to take full advantage of this feature. Select the ellipse tool from your toolbar, remember to hold down the Shift key and create a 100 pixel circle. Let's change the color of this new shape to 46, 49 and 146. Get back to your artboard and this time create a 10 pixel circle. Now hold down the Alt key or the Option key if you're on the Mac and drag a copy of this shape 55 pixels down. The grid and the snap to grid will make things a lot easier. Now let's zoom in on these two tiny shapes. Select the Move tool from your toolbar and let's focus on this bounding box to adjust the size of your selected shape. First, increase the height of your shape to 30 pixels like that, and then hold down the Alt key or the Option key if you're on a Mac and increase the width of your shape to 20 pixels like that. Now select the rectangle tool from your toolbar and create a 20 by 65 pixels shape. Select this new shape and move it in this place and then switch to the direct selection tool. Select this anchor point and move it 5 pixels to the right, and then select this other anchor point and move it 5 pixels to the left. Reselect the Move tool, select these three shapes and turn them into one shape using this Unite button from the Pathfinder panel. Now go to Effect, Warp and Bulge. Make sure that this vertical box is checked. Set the bend to -25%, click OK, and then go to Object and Expand Appearance. From now on, you can disable the Snap to Grid and hide the grid, and then focus on this blue circle. Select your drip shape and place it somewhere around this area. Now hold down the Alt key or the Option key if you're on a Mac and drag a copy of your shape like that. Let's use the bounding box to make this new drip shape a lot bigger. Remember that holding down the Shift key will maintain the proportions of your scaled shape, and move this shape somewhere around this area. Now create a new copy of this drip shape and place it in this spot. Create a new one, make it smaller and move it in this place. And then make a new one. Let's make this one a bit smaller and place it like that. Now you need to create a shape that makes the connection between your drip shapes and the blue circle much smoother. Let's focus on this area. Select the pen tool from your toolbar, and to make your work even easier, let's enable the Smart Guides by going to View and Smart Guides. Now let's start creating this new shape from this point. Drag the first handle and connect it with your drip shape. As you can see, thanks to these Smart Guides, it is much easier to add an anchor point right on the edge of an existing shape. Let's continue and create the rest of the shape. Obviously, you don't have to follow the exact same positions, just make sure that you're creating a smooth connection between your drip shapes and the blue circle. Once you're done, remember to close this shape and disable the Smart Guides as you won't need it anymore. Let's move our focus on the bottom side of these drip shapes. Select the ellipse tool from your toolbar and add some random ellipses like that. Now move up to the top side of your circle. Select this pencil tool from your toolbar and draw a random path along the top side of your circle. Don't bother to make it exactly like that. And once you're done, you can easily fill it with blue using this button. Now let's zoom in on all these blue shapes. Select them using the Move tool. Unite them. And then turn them into one compound path by going to Object, Compound Path, and Make. Now that you've created both splatter shapes, let's see how you can easily turn them into brushes. Let's start with the red one. Select it and click this new brush button from the brushes panel. Check this scatter brush box and click OK. You can change the name of your brush if that's what you wish, and then select random from all these drop-down menus. Let's focus on the size sliders and enter 30% in the left one and 60% in the right one, and this will be the size range for your brush elements. Let's continue and set the spacing range between 20% and 40%, the scatter range between -10 and 10%, and the rotation range between -45 degrees and 45 degrees. Once you're done, you can click OK, and your new brush will appear in the brushes panel. Let's save the other brush and then we'll put both brushes to the test. Select this blue compound path, click again this new brush button from the brushes panel, and this time check this art brush box. Click OK. Again, you can pick a name for your brush. Let's keep these settings as they are, and then check this stretch between guides box. Now all you have to do is move this top guide where the drips of your brush start. Basically, with these guides, you're defining the part of the brush that will stretch when you are using it. Make sure that the rest of the settings are set as you can see, and then click OK to save your new brush. Finally, let's put these two brushes to the test. Let's use the brush tool from your toolbar, select your red brush and draw a simple path, and then select the other brush and add a new path. Remember that you can always come back to the brushes panel, double click your brush and make any changes that you may need. With these final touches, your splatter brushes are ready to use. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Feel free to customize the final design, and I'll see you in the next video.